Welcome to all dignitaries and delegates to my small presentation. As the title itself is indicative of the content, I would only like to add that this is a small portrayal of the situation of this Etukopaka traditional toy industry. See, this Etukopaka is a small village situated on the banks of a small river, Varaha. That is about 120 kilometers southwest of the town, most probably known to every one of you, called Visakhapatnam, a port town. The situation is, the industry, this handicraft industry makes very beautiful scintillating toys ranging from different rollers to birds to like that, name it, any product they are able to make, and is made of a single species of wood. Initially, almost the entire village used to be on this job, and now a little more population is added, but still over 200 artisans form the mainstay of this cottage industry. In fact, this highly dexterous legacy was reported by the artisans as a hereditary gift to them, and has started a little southwest of this present village at a place called Nakkapalli, and then due to scarcity of timber at the place of origin and a little more away towards the then pristine forest area, Etukopaka, they have migrated, and at the same time Maharajas patronized by them, the families who settled there also patronized, and that industry has been flourishing for the last about 180 years. However, initially, in those days, very low income is enough, and sustenance by the Rajas or the landlords also was helpful for them to tide over everyday needs. As the time passed, the expenses, the cost of living has increased. So then one of the visionaries of that families, the landlords, have had a vision that it is better to turn this industry into a small business enterprise. One of the, again, pragmatist among the landlords in that village saw that a beautiful industry which has a lot of history and inheritance is getting lost to the wild. So it should be revived, and so therefore he has taken the job to his shoulders and convinced the age-old or left-out artisans and the youngsters, a few more who have not gone to the industry, and then he revived that slowly and added a lot of enthusiasm and motivated the industry to flourish again to the heights. This visionary or this pragmatist has taken up a wide range of steps to sustain the industry, take it forward to the international level and standards, and for all this drive and this drudgery along with his artisans, he has bagged several national and international awards also. This actually, the toy industry it's a very dexterous art. Any type of item we require, they can make. And recent year, they have even had supplies to big industries like Titan watch industry, and even some Europe and other places they have made. There are several cultural, ancestral, ethnic, historic, mystic, all types of objects they are able to make with this wood. While So these are some of the different objects. They show which reflect their dexterity. There are also several other products here. So the produce. How do they make this? The paraphernalia. They use very small setup. Generally, they install this 0.5 HP motor in the portico, and they use very simple tools like this. But strangely depend on a single species of wood called ivory wood, Wrightia tinctoria in scientific terms. That is the wood which they depend on. They say the best suitable wood they have ever come across. So, and after that, actually during the process of the wood, they will not use any chemical or anything. They simply season under the roofs or under the in this veranda within their houses and use it. And they added to that, what for finishing, after toy is made, they use only natural dyes. The dyes are also prepared by them either into discs or bars like this. And after the product is made, right from that raw material to second stage, third stage, finishing and buffing, everything is done. This. However, this trade, generally none of these hand artisans will go for selling this product. Only their wholesale units will be available in the village, or else this supply orders they will meet with, and they also supply to the Depakshi Emporium and all the government of Andhra Pradesh Handicrafts Emporium. So afterwards, subsequently they have also gone up to the extent of bagging a good amount of export market. With them have sent these artifacts to Canada, USA, Germany, France, Italy, Australia with the due permission of UNESCO. Their annual turnover actually reached 3.2 million rupees in 2007. But unluckily, the trade has subsequently fallen down to 0.8 million a year, especially because of this, they are unable to meet with the requirement of this latest export norms, so that business has dwindled down. To get attenuated to these export norms, and consortium proposes to seek the assistance of some other universities in Macedonia, Southeast European University. Although these untiring efforts of these artisans led this age-old traditional industry to enormous prominence, still domicile swords are hanging on their head, and they face two main problems. One is this power supply, the other is timber reports. Generally, in our nation, the general power production is far less than the demand, especially in Andhra Pradesh. In villages, the power supply is not even 12 hours some days. It goes, power cut extends beyond 12 hours also. That is the main problem they are facing. And even when power is there, during the peak hours when the daylight is the essential criteria for their making, because of long and sustained extra effort, their vision, they say, will be poor than normal person vision. So they want broad daylight to work. This power may not be supplied at that time. That is one crux of for them. There is one problem. Added to that, when the power is restored, or all the industries around and all that pumps, motors, agriculture motors, all will run at the same time, and voltage will be very less. So that is the main problem they are facing. Added to that, the timber is another problem they have been facing. There are several developments in that, but even Andhra Pradesh Forest Department could not solve that. This party and this people would not come to an understanding yet. Although they have raised under the Joint Forest Management Program some 60,000 plants and some 12 hectares or so, they are not able to reap the timber from this because of lack of permission from the forest department. Although this Rhytia tincturi is a very good coppicing tree, actually what these people need is only a small gutta timber of such kind which is having 5 to 12 centimeter diameter. If more than that they do not want, because wastage will be higher side, they don't even exploit the timber from the trees. Even at the tree, though this tree is coppicing and plenty of plantations have been raised with their own area, they are not able to get this timber. These artisans are actually not blindfolded, as I told. They even tried several timbers, but none has come to their requirement. Similarly, we also tried a few timbers. Among them only rubber wood met with the best requirement they want. But this rubber wood is not available here in the vicinity of the Etukopaga, Andhra Pradesh. But of late only in the Eastern Ghats region of East Godavari, West Godavari districts, they have started raising the rubber plantations. That is the only. So however, their only optimism now is left out. Is this, once this JFM, people are convinced of this JFM what they have raised, that may be sanctioned to them at a day or some other day. With that, they have been waiting, hopefully, for the rejuvenation of the cottage industry. So unless this electricity department and that forest department comes to their rescue, that industry will be at stake. And that is, however, what is our feeling is that in the long interest of this age-old tradition and committed artisans, admiring connoisseurs and employment potential, revenue augmentation and foreign exchange generation, the government and its organs should sincerely and promptly recuperate the Etukopaga handicraft industry at the earliest and make it a pride of the country. So this is my presentation, sir. Very kind of you for giving me the opportunity, especially Doctors Whiteman and Ilian Anemone have helped me to bring out this and encouraged me right from the day I have contacted by sending the abstract. I am grateful to FAO and all the delegates for their patience and listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.